Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat. For inshore anglers who want to cross open water comfortably and fish a variety of locations effectively, we'll be taking a look at the Action Craft 1720 Gen 3.
For as long as there's been an action craft, they've called their ride the Quad-Dry ride. I loved it on the way back.
For the fisherman with a growing desire to venture further offshore, we'll be looking at the Bluewave 2800 Makaira.
With a few simple modifications to a proven hull design, they made this boat a very usable boat in the offshore arena for blue water fishing.
And for the fishing family that loves to spend their weekends exploring blue water, we'll be taking a look at the Sailfish 360CC Elite.
You want to go overnight on this boat? You can. You've got fresh running water in the sink, you've got a stand-up shower, and the game changer, air conditioning.
All coming up on Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
Welcome to another edition of Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Man, have we got three exciting boats for you today. George, get us started.
We've got a little bit of something for everybody today. We're going to start out with the Action Craft 1720 Gen 3. Now the 1720 happens to be Action Craft's most popular model, but the Gen 3 version of it is all new for 2019, and they've got a lot of really cool changes to the boat that I know you're going to love.
Talk about a changed boat. You remember last year we had the Bluewave 2800. This year, we've got the Bluewave 2800 Makaira. What they did is they turned it into an offshore boat. They did some super exciting stuff to get this boat ready to handle big water.
Listen, George, you said you got a little something for everybody. This Sailfish 360cc is not little. It is a huge boat, it's ready to go offshore, and it's ready to have the family on it.
Right, Lori, what a great job Sailfish is doing now, combining luxury, family features, and serious fishing boat features.
Here we go again, three great boats. We got to spend a lot of great time on them. Let's get rolling with today's show.
When we return, our hosts take a look at a boat designed to conquer inshore fisheries with ease, the Action Craft 1720 Gen 3. But first, let's join our hosts as they teach us about Suzuki Marine's selective rotation feature in this week's Power segment.
Okay, Rick, I'm gonna pull the girl card right now. When we were at lunch today, we were talking about Suzuki motors, and I got lost in the conversation. You guys were talking about left and right and switching props. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Let me explain it to you. What's new from Suzuki for this year? They call it selective rotation. A motor, think about it now, it either has to turn to the right, turn to the left. In a twin engine application, one motor does each. Okay, but what happens when you need to replace an engine, or you're going to sell an engine and put a new engine on? With Suzuki's new system, from 150 to 300, you can actually change the rotation of the motor, which means you only have to carry one spare prop with you at a time.
That's really good information that you just can't go buy a motor and a prop and throw it on your boat.
That's how it used to work. Now it doesn't work that way. With Suzuki, you can change which motor switch.
This segment brought to you by FWC, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
They say your life flashes before your eyes just before you die. But you probably never pictured anything like this. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they take a closer look at the Action Craft 1720 Gen 3. Representing the flats boat category, the Action Craft 1720 Gen 3 has an overall length of 17 feet 2 inches, a beam of 7 feet 3 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 140. Designed for a comfortable ride and shallow water performance, she has a draft of 7 to 9 inches, a dead rise of 17 degrees, a dry weight of 910 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 28 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
Okay, kid, you ready for a little inshore fishing today?
Yes, I am.
All right, I want to show you the boat we're on.
All right, what do
How
we
about
got?
Action Craft 1720? This is their most popular model, but they changed it up. This is a Gen 3 version of the Action Craft 1720. They've added this leaning post and the elevated helm. It's going to be really cool for sight fishing. How about we take a ride up in the Indian River, take some of these shrimp up there and see if we can go ahead and catch us a triple tail.
Hey, I would love a triple tail today.
All
Sounds
right.
like a plan.
Let's do it.
Here you go.
Thank you. We had a little bit of a ride ahead of us to get to where we were going to fish, and Dave from Action Craft took the helm, giving me and Lori a chance to sit in the rear bench seat. I found it super comfortable. Actually, that's the most comfortable place to sit on a boat, is back there by the motor.
I had plenty of room back there. Never felt like I was gonna fall out of the boat, which is huge to be said on a flats boat. Super wide, but the best part is those seats fold down. Now I've got my fishing platform.
Most importantly for me was the change of the helm design. You stand on the deck and you've got an elevated helm position, and this was going to be really useful for us while we ran the intracoastal looking from marker to marker trying to find a triple tail. With our trolling motor down, I was able to hold the position with the spot lock and put Dave on one side of the boat and Lori on the other, and have both of them throwing a shrimp at these markers. It was super easy to work that thing thoroughly, and we left no stone unturned.
So when we got to the power plant, I'm not gonna lie, I was super excited. I saw some tarpon rolling, ran to that back live well, got my bait, cast it out. Then I started going around the boat and I realized the gunnels are so wide, it was perfect.
There were some tarpon rolling there, but they were out of bounds. We weren't able to get after them. So I pushed over to the edge of a flat with the trolling motor, climbed up on top of the poling platform. My visibility was really good up there, and that platform was so big, I was easily able to stand on it and fish from up there.
It was great that the Action Craft incorporated a live well up in the bow of the boat. It makes it nice where you don't have to go back and forth all day long. I want to get my bait, I want to get it now, and I want to keep going.
My vantage point from on top of the poling platform was really incredible. Okay, I'm looking across the flat and I see a shadow, so I threw a jig in there. The fish came over to the jig. I didn't know what was going to happen. He slashed at it and I got tight on what turned out to be a juvenile bull shark in about 2 feet of water. Now, this fish gave me a great fight. I climbed down off of there and landed the fish next to the boat, and we released him unharmed. It was a really cool surprise.
Well, George promised me a triple tail. That didn't happen, but I did get a flounder today. And I love the fact that SeaDeck put the ruler on that wide gunnel. I was able to prop up my little flounder and measure him, and it was great.
I had a little secret bet with George. As nice as that boat was, I didn't think it would pole real well. Well, we swapped out. I got on the boat and Lori got off. I was wrong. That thing poles like a dream. We were sight hunting redfish. They didn't help us out. But I tell you what, it wasn't because you can't pole that beauty.
The platform is huge. I'm a big guy. I got up there and I was completely comfortable pushing the boat. And this boat surprised me. It pushed like a lot smaller boat. I took a little while and pushed Dave and Rick along a mangrove shoreline and tried to sight cast to a few fish in there. The boat really impressed me. I mean, it was very easy to handle, even in the wind.
For as long as there's been an Action Craft, they've called their ride the Qui-Dry ride. 2 reasons. First off, it's a dry running flats boat. Second off, it lands perfectly quietly. Not a sound. I loved it on the way back. George, it seems like everybody in the industry is trying to get more versatile with their boats, get their boats to do more things. I am tickled to death with Action Craft. This 1720 is a shallow water weapon. That's what it's good for.
It definitely is. And you know what else that really jumps out at me about this boat is that, you know, Action Craft's a great company. They've been around forever. This is such a popular boat, and they're never one to just put their feet up and say, we're good with this. Always willing to take a chance and make something better, and they've definitely done it with this Gen 3. The steering and seating is awesome. I mean, the boat is really, really an improvement on an already great design.
I love that I could walk all the way around and nothing got in my way. Nobody was tripping on each other, and that's a lot to be said about a boat, especially 17-foot flats boat.
Let me tell you what the old man feels like this afternoon. My feet aren't tired. No, I'm not kidding. Standing on this SeaDeck all day long, which they've got on all the fishable areas here, makes a difference. I am not as tired today as I would be if I was on a regular non-skid deck.
Listen, at the end of the day, I was really excited about seeing this boat, and it did not disappoint. The Action Craft 1720 Gen 3, definitely worth taking a look at.
When we return, our hosts examine a boat built to tackle offshore waters safely and efficiently, the Bluewave 2800 Makaira. This segment brought to you by Suzuki, the ultimate outboard motor. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they take a closer look at the Bluewave 2800 Makaira. Representing the bay boat category, the Bluewave 2800 Makaira has an overall length of 27 feet 10 inches, a beam of 9 feet 2 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 600. Built to keep the family comfortable, she has a draft of 17 inches, a dead rise of 18 degrees, a dry weight of 3,650 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 135 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
George, Rick, I am so happy to be on this Bluewave today. I've only known Bluewave boats to be inshore bay boats. This boat's designed to go offshore and I can't wait to get out there.
I'm with you, Lori. You know, we've seen the 2800 pure hybrid from Bluewave, and this, the 2800 Makaira, is a boat built really for offshore fishing specifically. The day's got a lot of kind of variables today. We got some weather to deal with. The fishing's been pretty good. We better get moving here. Rick, what do you think?
Buddy, I'm ready. You know, George, for years, they've had offshore boats and inshore boats, and they've been merging this whole time. Let me tell you, this boat can fish inshore, but I'll bet you it's going to be a star offshore.
No better time than the present. What do you say we get started?
Let's go fishing.
With a few simple modifications to a proven hull design, they made this boat a very usable boat in the offshore arena for blue water fishing. Now, what did they do to change it? Basically, the main thing they needed to change was eliminating the forward casting deck. Now, that forward casting deck is useful for sight fishing in not so rough water or in backwater, but when you get out in the ocean and it's flowing a little bit and it's 2 to 4 or 3 to 5 foot seas in a boat like that, you don't want to be balancing on a foredeck like that. So they opened it up. They left the forward seating in there, which is very useful for a lot of people that are going to ride around and do a lot of kind of family cruising and stuff. I mean, that forward seating comes in really handy, but getting that deck down level to where the gunnel height is up there at waist level, you're a lot more secure in the boat when it's rocking offshore.
I really like the way that the forward seating was set up on this boat. You had your backrest, you had cup holders, and the safety rail, which I love for when you're underway.
If we're riding out on a rough day, I've got to be sitting in the transom, and we've got the seats there for it. But the minute we get ready to put the baits out, those seats fold away and make for a platform on the transom for any type of fishing you're doing.
Now, the traditional business end of a center console for offshore is back in the cockpit. This boat was set up for real fishing offshore, trolling wise. You've got hardtop mounted outriggers. It's got 2 available live wells in the corner that are standard on every boat. Those are 28 gallons apiece in opposite corners. And a third optional live well, a 50-gallon tank, can be added to the helm station seating area. Now, if you don't want that live well, you can make that into a tackle station just as easily.
Center consoles are designed to fish 360 degrees around, and nobody loves to live bait fish more than I do. What a great idea it is to have a pitch well up in the bow where I can spot a cobia or a sailfish swimming on the surface and have a bait ready to fire at him, red hot and ready to get eaten.
So something that was unique that I thought was very genius was the rod locker. They actually had it built into the gunnel. And I like that for the simple fact when you're traveling, you don't want all your rods left out. It was nice to actually have somewhere to store it that was easy to reach and have access to.
Now, underneath this casting deck in the rear, there's a wide center seat that folds out of sight. Under that, you've got access to your build systems, and it is really, really accessible. This is a large opening.
All right, so I have to admit, I had a favorite on this boat, and that was the sun lounge. For the simple fact is, yes, it was a sun lounge, but underneath me was a cooler, and talk about utilizing space. Nothing was left off this boat. They thought of everything.
Well, guys, we made it through another day here unscathed. We're back at the dock where the day began, and I got to bring you back to when we first walked up to this boat this morning, and I saw 2 300s on the back of it. All right, we're on this 2800. I'm thinking, I ran the 2800 with the 350 on it, and it seemed like the perfect boat. I was a little bit skeptical about how the boat was going to be with 2 motors, let alone 2 300s, and I've got to tell you, performance-wise, a home run, and this boat with 2 300s, how about plus 2 miles per gallon going 40 miles an hour? I mean, what more do you need?
You don't need anything else. I mean, you've got the security of having twin engines, but you've certainly got all the speed you need. But what impressed me was the fishability, George. We got a huge live well right here in our favorite spot. We got a backup live well over here, and they built this boat to be more of an offshore boat. You understand what I'm saying? We've got front seating, but the measure of a front seat to me is, can I gaff a fish over it?
Speaking of seats and fishing, this is a fishing boat. You proved that today, but they did not take away comfort for the family. We had a family on here today. Everyone was comfortable. You've got seating in the bow, seating in the stern, and my favorite part is that coffin box is the sun lounge. I just thought that was pure genius. But I gotta tell you, watching this boat go out the inlet today, beautiful. I could watch it all day.
It was, and it was sporty once we got offshore. But you know what? The boat tracked so well. And she had a great attitude. She held her position so well. It wasn't like you were getting blown around with a lighter boat. You understand what I'm saying? When they built this boat, when they took the original 28 hull, which is a great hull, and built it into an offshore boat, George is just beefy. I gotta tell you, for me, the Bluewave 2800 Makaira is a home run.
When we come back, our hosts step aboard a boat that effectively combines hardcore fishing amenities and family comfort, the Sailfish 360CC Elite. This segment brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
An entirely new species of extreme predator is moving offshore. The Yamaha 5.6-liter V8 XTO offshore outboard. Extreme big block thrust and power in the industry's first direct injection 4-stroke. Quiet, efficient, powerful, and proven Yamaha reliability. More than an outboard, it's a fully integrated power system. The all-new Yamaha V8 XTO Offshore.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they check out the Sailfish 360cc Elite. Representing the 33 to 53 foot class in the center console category, the Sailfish 360cc Elite has an overall length of 36 feet, a beam of 11 feet 2 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 1,050. Engineered for hardcore offshore fishing with the family, she has a draft of 28 inches, a dead rise of 22 to 24 degrees, a weight of 12,700 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 400 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
All right, guys, we're on the Sailfish 360cc, and I could not be more excited today. I know you're looking at all the fishing features, but the family features just excel on this boat. There's so much to do, and I'm so glad to have your grandkids on the boat today because it's really gonna show off all the family features on this boat.
Yeah, it is. You know, Sailfish has been building fishing boats for over 30 years, and they build great ones. I remember their first little square 18-footer. This thing is their new flagship, and it transitions from fishing into a boat that's ready, like you said, for the whole family.
Really, I'm super excited to see what this boat's got to offer. We got a day ahead of us. What do you say we get rolling?
I say we got a live well full of bait. Let's get out of here.
One of the features of the 360cc that offshore fishermen are going to immediately appreciate is the ride. Sailfish's variable dead rise step bottom is kind of unique. Now this is a bottom that the dead rise is going to change from 22 to 24 degrees, and also they incorporate a gull wing kind of shaped bottom that goes into a reverse chine. Now in the back part of the boat, this is going to give the stern a lot more lift. It's actually going to deflect a lot of the spray. It provides a really soft, dry ride. The 360 features a 3-sided glass enclosure with a vent. The vent opens with an electronic actuator. There's also air conditioning at the helm. It's actually powered by batteries and an inverter. It makes a huge difference when it's hot outside. There was an elevated deck for me to stand on at the center of the helm there, which is going to give me a great height advantage as far as seeing over the bow of the boat when we're running, but it also gave you a feeling of as though you were standing up on the bridge almost, looking back into the cockpit and 360 degrees around the boat. And one of the first things that jumped out at me about this boat too, while I was fighting a sailfish, was how easy it was to take the fish around the boat, which I had to do a few different times.
I'm a nut for what we call mezzanine seating. What that is great seating that faces the ocean. Hello, that's why we're out there, is to watch for a strike. Well, you can do it on the Sailfish, but get a load of this now. You flip down the center mezzanine seat, and there's a screen with your depth sounder on it. You can be in the back of the boat and keep track of the bottom you're fishing on.
Now we all know there's gonna be a cooler on the boat with drinks. Yeah, we had that, but I love the fact that when we were fishing and things are going, everybody's running, and you get thirsty real quick, all you had to do was reach into this little refrigerator at the helm, grab a drink, and keep on going.
The back of this Sailfish helm seat, the mezzanine seating that I like so much, folded right out, and every bit of tackle we could ever need was right there. Great accessibility to your tackle on the Sailfish.
This boat had 2 ways to easily access the water. One on the transom with the ladder, say the kids are snorkeling, diving. Then you also have another entry on the side, on the gunnel. The door actually opens right up, and there's also another ladder that is installed so you can get on and off the boat. Or if you happen to catch a big fish that day, it's your fish door. So the sun lounge on this boat just makes me smile. Not only was I extremely comfortable, but there's a lot to be said when you're lounging and you've got a cup holder and a rod holder right next to you. It's like Sailfish designed this boat for me.
What we found that worked today was live bait in the sails. Now, here's why that's important. We had excellent live wells, 2 of them to hold plenty of bait for all that we needed, and they were out of the way. It was incredible how fast this boat transformed from being a hardcore fishing machine to when we headed back in and started to do a little luxury cruising.
Up in the bow, we had recessed seating and ample freeboard, which gave me a really good, secure feeling. And when we put the table up for lunch, it made you feel like you were in a deep booth at a restaurant. But it got hot up there. We had to move it back to the stern. We set up the sunshade up there and folded down a couple seats. And when I say a couple seats, we had the mezzanine seating. We had 2 bench seats that folded out of the transom, which made it a perfect setup again, like if you were at a booth. Just like we were up in the bow, we just moved it back to the stern. Everyone was comfortable.
This boat featured great access through the cockpit deck to any of your systems in the bilge. It was very easy to reach, easy to get inside of and work on. And also inside the console, access to all of your electronics, your batteries. All the electrical systems located at the helm are easily reachable from a standing position inside the console, which is air conditioned, I might add too.
You want to go overnight on this boat? You can. You've got fresh running water in the sink, you've got a stand-up shower, and the game changer, air conditioning.
Well gang, what a day, huh? I mean, the Sailfish 360 definitely did not disappoint us. It was a nice, soft ride. I mean, I like the 32 and I like this as much or more.
Well, if you'll remember 3 hours ago, we were chasing a red hot sailfish around this boat trying to get a bait to the second fish, remember?
Yep.
Now look at us. We're kicked back under a sunshade relaxing. Sailfish has got a new queen of their fleet. It's the 360CC, and it is a drop-dead gorgeous, serious fishing machine.
Well guys, we had 3 phenomenal boats this week, and I can't lie, I'm excited for next week.
Man, me too. You know what? If you'd like any more information about the boats you saw this week, or any boat you see on Florida Sportsman Best Boat, visit us at floridasportsman.com.
Or tune in next week for another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.